Hello. Okay, so this is my predictions for how this year is going to go. Power rankings. These are going to be, of course, extremely serious. I would never, ever, ever do a joking power rankings. Never. All right, so this team right here. So you got Archeops, who is really, really good. You got Coughing. Okay, real talk. Archeops doesn't need it. It only loses power after it's more than half gone, and by the time it's more than half gone, you're probably close to beating it anyway, of course. And it's just like burning a Pokemon, right? So imagine it's not slow start where it loses half its speed too. It just loses half of its attacking power. So imagine you get burned after you're under 50% health. It's not that big a deal. So Archeop is still really good, really powerful, gets access to a ton of great moves, but you're probably going to want to use it as an attacking piece. Fungus is phenomenal. It's redirection. Everyone who runs against Glenn's going to want safety goggles. Manectric and Kling, that's plus and minus, FYI. Sorry. But Manectric also draws electric type attacks, squares away water types. So Archeops and Manectric is a really terrifying, hyper offensive, very fast combo. Walrein, nice defensive piece. Coughing, again, I really think Coughing is irrelevant, but whatever, it works. Lanoon G, wrong Lanoon, but it is what it is. Scorbunny, haha, it's funny, it's terrible. But Poltergeist is scary, so you'll have to have something to go with it. That's an interesting final piece. And then just Kadabra, I think, is a lot of value, especially with the last pick in the draft. So for him, I'm putting him in the we're going to put him in the I'm going to abuse this. I'm going to call this the A+ tier. So his team gets an A+. Just Archeops, so good. Archeops, Kadabra, A+. So then we got Prime's team. Somehow he got beat up with Lucario. Lucario should have been banned. That was definitely an oversight on our part. Certainly should not have been 19. Holy blanking cow. We really put this as worse than Butterfree. This thing, the unpronounceable one, is good. I mean, it's really good to have in the back because then its ability isn't a hindrance anymore. Or you can lead with it and try first impression and do first impression twice. Honestly, you have choice band first impression, and you're gonna have and expect to have it switched out anyway. Rhydon, really, really good. He's got a great Trick Room mode. Lilligant, he doesn't have any Prankster Sun, but Salazzle's really fast, so you basically have Prankster Sun. Archon is just sickeningly good. Fun true story, when I played Prime last year in the playoffs in semifinals, he basically resigned game 2, which I was already up 1-0. He basically resigned as soon as he saw me lead Archon. Archon completely shut down his most terrifying offensive threat, which is Magmortar, because Scarf Head Smash literally just one-shots Dynamax Magmortar from full. So, I mean, Archon's really actually very good. And then it kills itself to recoil too, so you don't even have to worry about keeping it alive. It's such a great Pokemon. I love Archon. 3 is really, really underrated. I was hoping I could get it this year. It didn't happen, just didn't work with my team. And then Scraggy. Scraggy also was on my team last year, so he took both my D tiers from last year. It's a great Pokemon, so I'm also giving Prime an A+. This is just a really terrifying team. It's going to be very hard to beat. It's got a lot of great modes. I didn't even talk about Espeon, who's fast and provides a lot of special attacking force. You can't go ham in on just physical defense against this team because Espeon will beat you up. Foil's got, Obstagoon, which is going to be interesting. It's going to Intimidate. We also got Hitmonchan, which is immune to Intimidate. And that really enables, a lot of the others, like Berserker and Flareon, to thrive. Got Altaria, so basically GG already. Luxio, super cute. Got Grookey, Baby Thwacky, Drifloon, so he's got like he can do like super fast tailwind stuff. Although that does mean he has two terrible Pokemon. Um, doesn't really have special threats other than like literally Ghastly and then I guess Slowbro G, but um, interesting, very interesting team. Presents a lot of different threats. It's a lot of good stuff instead of any one like super great combo, and that team comp can go really well. So I'm gonna give it an A plus. Western Wobbuffets. So Kangaskhan um, fakes out anything. It fakes out your ghost. So like you're going up against Prime, and you're like, oh no, what do? I can't fake out Dracloak. Haha, psych. Scrappy fake out, and it's over. And then Doug Trio just earthquakes or even max quakes into Lucario. GG. Ditto is going to make him an absolute nightmare to play every single week because the way Ditto interacts in doubles is just so weird, and you're gonna have to like study and really prep for it, or just get beat by something that he understands well and you don't. Malamar is an absolute monster. If it gets set up, give it like two superpowers and it's GG. It also gets Trick Room. It and its pre-evolution, I think, are the only Pokemon that get Trick Room that aren't Psychic. So, sorry, that. What was I thinking? But it is Psychic. No, it's something. Maybe Allies. It's the only Ally Switch user that isn't part Ghost. Or no, it's the only. No, that's it. It's the only Dark type Pokemon that gets Trick Room. There we go. Eventually, I was going to remember it. Oh, my dog's hiccuping. Eldegoss provides a lot of really funky stuff with the funky ability. Absol's powerful. He's got a lot of really good threats. He doesn't have special attackers, but like really, does he really need great special attackers? Malamar can do special attacking. Deo can copy special attackers. Like special attacks overrated, especially when your biggest physical threat is immune to Intimidate. So yeah, I'm gonna give this an A plus. Down south, the Denny's. Yeah, Torracat for Intimidate, Fast Intimidate, special fire offense is great. Cloyster is really powerful. I tried using it last season, wasn't really able to make it work with my team, but I ran Sun, so definitely a lot of team support to help. It also does a great job covering for Flygon. Flygon's 4 times weak, but Cloyster 4 times resists Ice type moves. Decidueye has so much great coverage. Like I don't want to say it has so much great coverage, right? But flying, like the fact that it gets Bravery is just so good, and then max flying, and then suddenly you're like, oh, you thought my Decidueye was slow. Now it outspeeds everything and kills you. Yeah. Terrible abilities, well, mediocre abilities, but still. Cloyster kind of makes up for that. Flygon, again, great Pokemon in theory. Offers a lot of power. Audino, I think, is really tricky to go up against. Mawile is super cheap. It's a super cheap Intimidator. It's literally a point more than Lexio. And the reason why is because it can't do much, except it does have Intimidate, and it does get Swords Dance. So if you totally ignore it, it can set up and threaten you. Exploud is pretty good. I think, does Audino get Soundproof? I don't think it does, but you can do Exploud. You don't have to run Scrappy on it. You can, and then you got Scrappy Boom Burst, which is really powerful, but you don't have to. You can run Soundproof is its other ability, and Soundproof, and then you just like Choice Specs Boomburst, and you run that alongside Decidueye or Duskull, and you can do a lot of damage. Duskull, great Trick Room setter. Lairon abuses Trick Room. There's going to be some Eviolite competition within his bad Pokemon, but like not really. Like Duskull, Lairon, Gabite, Marshtomp. You're not bringing more than one of these at most, right? Audino's the better Trick Room. He's got a good team. You're never going to know exactly what he's going to bring, so A plus. Oklahoma City Thunder, the Sun team. I did want Jace on it when we did a little scrimmage, but I don't think Towers is going to play with such little care in team building, and that's not a slight on Jace, but I mean, it wasn't your team. You weren't really trying to win. You were trying to have fun. Meowstic is going to really deter things like Intimidators, but this is mostly a Sun team. Vulpix is key. You get Heliolisk, which has solar power. Shiftry is Chlorophyll. Cottony can be chlorophyll, which is hilarious. Ivysaur, of course, is chlorophyll, and then Charmeleon's got solar power, so it doesn't have like some of the moves that make Charizard so effective, which is why it's only 3 points, but like it's still really good. Yeah, it's just a pretty scary team. It's well built, and then you got Gardevoir, which offers a lot of other attacking support that is completely unrelated. So A plus, definitely a good team. Houston Regirox, honestly, so this is a really good team. So you've got Cradilly to soak away water attacks from Rune, also to absorb the surfs from Cramorant. So Cramorant does surf. Cradilly gets a special attack boost, and Cramorant gets something in its mouth. You got Pikachu for Lightning Rod support as well. Although it is Gmax, it can't run Eviolite, and so Eviolite Pikachu would have been new meta, but this is a slow team, which is why it's nice that it has a Trick Room mode. Turtonator, you even got Mesprit in case you go against a harder Trick Room team. And Mesprit has Imprison, it's really powerful psychic attacking. So I love the synergy here that he doesn't have a psychic type as his Trick Room setter. Although, I mean, more offensive synergy, because obviously they're both weak to Ghost, they're both weak to Dark. But there is offensive synergy there. It does resist Bug, at least. Turtonator's great in Trick Room. Regice, I thought was very, very underrated, very under-tiered. I almost got it myself, but he got it before I could get to it, and that would have really wrecked the rest of my team from a budget perspective. But Regice, I mean, it's really hard to beat. It's weak to everything. I get it, and it's not that strong, but if it can just flat out win you in games. It's got 200 base special defense. If you are not careful, you're just going to get absolutely wrecked by it at the end of the games. Written, really, really cheap, powerful, intimidate. Not powerful in the sense of strong Pokemon, but put a Scarf on this. Scarf Will-O-Wisp, Scarf Flamethrower. It's pretty good. Metang I thought was cheap and effective. I actually, I told, was it Foil? Was it Apple? Whoever because I was busy during these picks, and so I told someone if I can't get Whiscash, if someone takes Whiscash, don't go to Magneton because I need to totally redo my plan. Get me Metang, because Metang is just so good. Man, it's really, really underrated. Yeah, it is. It's literally just baby Metagross. Put weakness policy on it, and it's great. Or you can run the Eviolite on it, and then you just can't kill it physically. And then you've got a great physical wall and a great special wall. So it's really, really good. Also really good in Trick Room because it's slower than Metagross. Eevee, I think it's slower. Eevee, LOL. Meowth, LOL. I do think there was a big mistake here getting the Meowth instead of Meowth Alola, which has a few better moves. Anyway, definitely still an A+, very scary Trick Room team, and Cramorant opens up a lot of possibilities for this team. Vine Street Venopedes, Applejacks. He's the bomb diggity. Great player. Sceptile Serpent. This is just absurd. So I was scared he'd get a terrain setter, specifically Pincurchin, because Thwackey was unavailable. Although imagine if I had let him get Thwackey, and then you just have dual grass and you just destroys everything. Anyway, so he's got Unburden, and so then he outspeeds literally everything. You can't even outspeed him under Tailwind most of the time. And then Swoobat can get up to +6 sickeningly fast, which is ridiculous for a Pokemon that also has access to stored power. So just a terrifying setup, and he got that for 21 points, 1 point more than Obstagoon. And that's just an absolutely terrifying combo. Dugtrio's great. Drampa, Dugtrio did work for me against Apple week 1. By did work, I mean it could have done work. Apple correctly faked it out and then just eliminated it with a little problem and ended up winning the game that I brought Dugtrio in. But it could have done work. Drampa, really good Pokemon. It's slow, but It's a nice anti-trick room thing. Like, not in the sense of like it's actually slow enough to be great in trick room, but like he can invest a lot of attacking power in there. I think he gets Cloud9 too, so very important against Sun teams, for instance. Mr. Mime is great, powerful, annoying. Puckerrock, Intimidate is really good. Can also run Anger Point, I'm Frost Breath from Galarian Mr. Mime. I'm sure that would one hit KO Puckerrock. Tentacruel. Tentacruel is great. I think it's really powerful. Dugtrio can definitely bulldoze and set it off. And then you're just outspeeding everything with +2 Tentacruel that doesn't suffer a speed loss because of Clear Body. Girder, I've never been impressed with Girder. Doublade, I know it looks like Double Aid, but like Doublade, I think it's just so cool. Such a cool name. Isn't this from the French game? So it should be Doublade. Doublade. I don't know. Oh, hey, my wife's calling. So that is it for this video for right now. I'm going to set this down. I don't know actually how to pause videos or how to link them together. So I'm actually just going to walk away while I answer my wife's phone call. And y'all are just going to have to chill. Stare at Double A. Dubalati? All right. Hello. How are you? Yes. Get in your crate. Get in your crate. Get in your crate. Get in your crate. Good boy. Good boy. Okay, so that was a 20-minute break while I was on the phone with my beautiful, wonderful wife. So, anyway, so this team, and then like the finishing piece on this team is Magmortar, who is super powerful. Prime used him to great effect last season, but mostly as a support piece, only occasionally offensive. I think he's going to be a big offensive piece for this team. It's really good. They got Firewire. He's got a lot of stuff that you'll have to prepare for, and that's a really viable strategy for a RTT team. So A+, great team. All right, so this team, new team by Michael. So you got Haxorus with Togepi. Haxorus can, do some serious damage. Togepi redirects. You got Behemoth and Bronzor, so easy way to set up Trick Room, especially alongside Togepi. Mienfoo with a fake out support. I know its evolution gets Ally Switch and Faint, and does it get Faint? I don't know. Charjabug boosts special attackers like Phalanx, Seeking. Of course, you got Bouffalante. Great, beautiful Pokemon. Just don't Dynamax it in front of Trick Eject button. It's a bad decision. Phalanx does great next to Togepi. It's also Defiant, so if you're trying to intimidate Haxorus, it won't go too well for you. And Seeking Lightning Rod next to Mantine. Mantine then sets its own rain as a Dynamax, or Seeking can set the rain for it, and then Mantine can be supportive, clean up with some Hurricanes. I think it gets Hurricane. So just a lot. Seeking gets, some really cool moves, stuff like Mega Horn. So it's pretty good. I think this team is a lot of fun. If I had this team, I would super enjoy it. Definitely jelly. So I'm giving this an A+. This is a great team. Detroit Driftlins, I hate them because they took Slurpuff. Like, I took Thwacky, and then I'm like, I really want Slurpuff, but like, no, who's gonna freaking take Slurpuff without terrain to proc it? Eon. Anyway, so listen, Brian. I assume your name's Brian because your showdown name is Brian. So you am Brian, and you're from Michigan. So I assume you're Brian from like the University of Michigan. Anyway, Brian, Slurpuff, like WTF, like what, why? And then I had to like build my whole team around not having. And I was like, well, at least I'll get Excelgor. And then someone took Excelgor, and then I think it was Lime, and then ended up dropping Excelgor anyway. But I had already built my team. Like, you can't just like, I spent big money on Hitmonlee when I didn't really want to do that. I wanted to have Slurpuff instead and use Tauros as my heavy hitter, but I couldn't. And then I'm like, well, I need to get Ratu now. And anyway, Steelix is great. It provides a lot of win cons if he doesn't have special attackers. Not that there's any teams that don't have special attackers, but you've got Alolan Executor, really only weak to ice. Tangela, really, really, really good. So Tangela is great when you have Pokemon that are really weak to like physical ground type attacks, especially that it resists. Or Pokemon that have a big weakness to the other types it resists, like grass or water. Anytime you're afraid of, or if you think you might be going up against a Rage Powder team that would redirect attacks away from it, like, and then you can actually run offensive Tangela. You could run, like, for instance, Rapidash maxes, sets Sunny Day when it obliterates Fungus with Max Flare, and then even if Fungus is sashed to survive, Tangela just womps a Solar Beam on Walrein, and it's not like GG right there, but it's pretty good. So Tangela Rapidash is a really good combo. I really liked it at the end of last season. Rufflet, very, very underrated, very overpowered. Fletchling, Prankster Tailwind, although you do also have Slurpuff for speed control. Again, I'm not sure how you proc Unburden, but it exists. Duosian Trick Room is great. Drizzile, I still am not entirely sure how it won RTT MVP that week, but in Slowpoke, so just some random crap to finish it. But the this stuff is just really fun. There's a lot of really cool options here with Riolu, Slurpuff. I think Riolu gets Bullet Punch, so I guess you could proc a weakness policy on Slurpuff. And I thought about that idea too in UDL because I have Hitmonchan who can proc. Obviously, if you watched my UDL match last week, Hitmonchan is capable of procking Fairy type's weakness policy with Bullet Punch. But I just wasn't convinced. But yeah, Slurpuff can be pretty powerful. So make sure you are able to fake out Riolu. I think Riolu gets inner focus, right? Prankster is the ability that gets replaced with inner focus. So you can fake it out at least. Yeah, and then Riolu also could do coaching on Steelix, make it impossible to beat, coaching on Rapidash. Actually, Prankster coaching Rapidash is actually really scary. But hope you have special water types to take it out. Or special ground or special rock, but not like those really exist in RTT. All right, so anyway, really, really, really good team. Obviously, he went all out on having 6 really good Pokemon. And I don't know why Rapidash is only 9. Rapidash is really good. Rufflet provides a great other mode, Fletchling a great other mode, even Duosian. So, but I think he's going to run with the same 5 or 6 pretty much every time. But they're really good 5 or 6, so A+. My team, Wacky and Tauros, not a ton of synergy there. They both really don't like being intimidated. Emily really doesn't like being intimidated. Wigglytuff does love being intimidated, though. Heatmore doesn't care if you intimidate it. Glaceon, special attack, Magneton, special attacker. They love intimidates. Xatu doesn't care if you intimidate it. So, Wigglytuff is really interesting here on this team because it does provide that anti-intimidate. I think it's got Ally Switch. It's got all the things that make Jigglypuff great, except for Friend Guard. And, and so you can Ally Switch into a Ghost attack or a Dark attack that is meant for Xatu. Xatu gets off a Tailwind. It's pretty good synergy with Xatu. Problem is, of course, it's competitive. And even at +2, it's not great, but it's not terrible. It can get some KOs, and its coverage isn't bad, and it has a butt ton of HP. So Thwacky, of course, is really powerful. Just Grassy Glide's really good, and yeah, you don't want Band because then you can't run Fake Out, but Banded Grassy Glide just crushes. It's really good. Tauros has 3 excellent abilities. I don't have a way of proccing Anger Point every time. Definitely I have a meme way of doing it, which is minimum attack Glaceon, Icicle Spear to try and proc it. And just be if you get all 5, what's 23 to the 24? Actually, I bet you I can do that here. Hang on, I'm gonna have to delete all this anyway. So, what is 23 24ths to the 5th? So even if you do that, you have only a 20%, not even 20%, a 19% chance of that working. So maybe it's a bad strategy, but I could at least try once, in a best of 3 after I have already won or lost 2 games. Yeah. Heatmore. My team was really weak to fire. Heatmore really helps. My team's really weak to flying. Magneton helps. Team needed some water attack. You need. I think of all the types that you have to have on your team, number 1 is probably flying, but number 2 I think is definitely water. You need a water type. I think actually, does everyone on the team have water somewhere? I think everyone's like apart from the fact that there's just so stinking many water types, like everyone needs a water. I mean, I guess technically Ditto is every type. Yeah, so I guess only 11. No, no water. Well, on the Sun team. Although I ran Lantern on Sun last year, and it was again really good. Love that Lantern. Should have gotten Lantern this year. It just didn't work out. But yeah, so I spent a lot on. I didn't get any bad Pokemon other than Brianna. Uh, but like I spent a solid amount on these. I didn't min max very much. But I spent so much money on these three. It's like, but there's no one really that does what Tauros does. It's sheer force, life orb, super strong, tons of coverage, and if you think you're gonna get Will-O-Wisp, just switch in Xatu. like, it's really good, and then Emily with plus Wacky is really good. I did not like that I had to take it third. And I didn't like having to take Xatu fourth, but then he took Sigilyph, and Sigilyph is the only other Pokemon that does what Xatu does. And I'm really actually glad I got Xatu instead. I feel like it does everything Sigilyph does really, really, and it has Magic Bounce instead of Magic Art, and it's 4 points cheaper. So yeah, he got Magmar, I got Heatmore. I do not regret that because I preserved my Eviolite, and I really think Heatmore is better than Magmar. Obviously, Heatmore, yeah, it's just super cool. And it was disappointing last year because it was a C tier, and I couldn't C tier. C tiers just weren't that good. I don't know. Anyway, but Heatmore, I did drop it last year, but I'm giving it another chance. Shiinotic, is really fun. Shiinotic's really fun. I have not run it yet, but it gets Spore, it gets Strength Sap, it gets Moonblast, a lot of grass type attacks. So it does double types, though. That's the one thing I don't like, is it's another grass type after Thwackey, and it's another fairy after Wigglytuff. My team is actually really weak to poison, which is good because poison isn't really a thing. But like, look at that. Like, Shiinotic is 4 times weak to poison. That's ridiculous. I don't even know what the poison resist berry is called. I might have to run it on Shiinotic, which would be ridiculous. Or just choice Scarf Spore. I don't have a Trick Room mode other than Xatu, which is okay. I can run that. You can totally run Trick Room on Xatu. But it's also a really good anti-Trick Room mode because, like, oh no, you set up Beheem, and Togepi, you're going to run Trick Room on me after you follow me. Well, I'll just Spore your Togepi turn 1, and then turn 2, I'll be slower than your Beheem, and I'll Spore that. I really like it. I really like Shiinotic. Is it fantastic? Probably not, but like 6 points. Glaceon, sick. It's 130 special attack, ice type. It's slow, but like I have access to Tailwind and Trick Room. Xatu I think is really going to be the glue that holds this entire team together. I really don't think there will be any week I don't bring Xatu. And like, oh no, it's weak to Ghost. It's weak to Dark. Well, I've got plenty of answers to Ghost and Dark. And no, it's weak to Electric. I mean, I've got answers to Electric. Magneton resist. Whiscash is immune. Shiinotic, Thwackey resist. Like, oh no, it's weak to Luck. I got Hitmonlee, Whiscash, Magneton. Oh no, it's weak to Ice. I've got Heatmore, Glaceon, Magneton. Like, I've got answers for its weaknesses, which are absurdly many. Like Ghost, Dark, Ice, Rock, and Electric. There are a lot of things that take it out. But you can't taunt it because of Magic Bounce. I guess with coughing on the field. Is there anything that... oh my gosh, new meta. So imagine he leads Coughing Fungus against my Xatu. My Xatu tries to Trick Room, and Fungus spores it. Sag. Anyway, so I really like this team. I think it'll do well. Brion, I didn't even talk about, but like it's fine. Put an Eviolite on it, and it's the only other Eviolite user on my team besides Thwackey. So if I ever bring it, it'll be just a bulky water type, another fairy, I know. But I think it'll be good. I think I give this team an A+. And then last but not least, Jace, reigning champ, and his team's great. War Turtle, Electabuzz, both on Eviolite, but that's fine. Blossom's really good. Sleeping. a great team. A plus. GG, y'all. Hey, baby, I love you.